Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the Healthy Real Food Podcast, our Healthy Real Food Monday mindset. I'm so happy to be with you guys today. Sorry, I'm a little bit under the weather, and but today we are going to focus on keeping it real. I'm focusing on how to lose weight for the last time by nourishing your body with food as it was designed to eat. The heart of today's episode is a topic that's really central to the success of my clients, and it really sets this program apart from many others. And it's eating real food and embracing a sugar and flour free lifestyle so you can lose weight for the last time. Real is more than just a tagline. It is a foundational principle based on science that can really transform your health, your energy, and your life. So, as you know, I've been into family history lately, and I've been having fun, like writing life sketches about all of my ancestors. And as I was working on a family history project this week, I discovered something that was really fascinating about my third great grandparents. So they lived on a ranch and were completely self-sustaining. They were the first settlers and in this area and just living off the land. So they had orchards, a garden, animals. And when their daughter was reflecting on her childhood, like she wrote that their meals consisted of meat, vegetables, fruit, milk, cream, and eggs. So no processed foods, no sugar, and no flour. Like as I mean, they probably had some flour, but it was different than the way our flour is today. So as members of my church, they also didn't drink alcohol or smoke. And man, like they lived a long time. They lived long, vibrant lives well into their 90s when the average life expectancy of the time was about 65 years. So one of my great grandfathers, he even fell off of the roof while he was shoveling snow at age 91. And then he lived for another 7 years. So just seeing this pattern in my family made me realize that their health was no coincidence. It was really a result of living simply, eating clean, moving naturally, and eating real food. But things are just so different today, right, than they were a century ago when it comes to our food. Like now, instead of famine, we struggle because of the abundance of food all around us. And not just an abundance of real food the way that God made it, but manufactured fake food that's unnaturally sweet and palatable, low in nutrients, and calorically dense. So let's talk about how getting back to eating real food can completely change your life. But I want you to know that even though I've been doing this for 4 years now and have maintained my weight loss for the most part, I still have moments when I'm not perfect. And just this last week with the kids home for fall break and being out of my routine, I struggled with big emotions. It's hard being a mom, right? And at times it showed up in my food. I didn't make the best food decisions at times, like with my quantities. And as a result, I saw a bit of weight creep this week and I don't feel very good. But guess what? That doesn't mean that I failed. It just means that I am a human woman with a human brain. If you are struggling or you're not perfect, just know that it's really all about being unstoppable and mastering the art of constant course correction. I share this with you to remind you that setbacks don't define your journey. What matters is how you handle them and how you just keep moving forward. So, as we discuss this principle of, keeping it real with our food, just be kind to yourself. When you embrace the idea that perfection isn't the goal, persistence is, you will find the strength to keep going, even when it feels hard. Food addiction is very real. And I was reminded of that this last week. But I promise that there is hope and I know sometimes I feel like I'm not strong enough to overcome my food addiction, but I know that God is strong enough and that He has the power to help me to make my greatest weaknesses into my greatest strengths. So let's start by talking about how keeping it real with your food is really the first step to finding peace. When I say real food, I'm talking about food that is unprocessed, free from sugar and flour, and close to its natural state, just the way that God made it. For thousands of years, people sustained themselves on real whole foods like fruits, vegetables, meat, dairy, nuts, and seeds. These foods not only provided all the nutrients needed for survival, but also kept people healthy and well into their later years. My great grandparents and their children all lived into their 90s eating the kind of food our bodies are meant to thrive on. So compare that to what we eat today in the grocery store: cupcakes with bright pink frosting, chips, sodas, processed snacks, and packaged meals filled with chemicals. Like these aren't foods that nourish us. And I like to call these fake foods. So they're engineered. They're engineered by men to taste good and to be crave worthy. You know, the goal is to get us to buy more and eat more of them, right? And they do nothing for your body's long-term health. So in fact, they really do the opposite. And they can cause disease in our body. Our bodies are amazing. They are made of trillions of cells, and every single cell in your body demands nutrition. And so when you think of a supercar, for example, right? Like or a car, if you put the wrong kind of fuel in the car, it seizes up the engine and it can ruin the engine. And it's the same with us. We have to fuel ourselves with real food, the food that was designed for our bodies. And that's how we're going to optimize our health and be able to function the best. Just like those fake foods do the opposite, they mess with our brain chemistry, leading to addiction, cravings, poor health outcomes like obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. On the other hand, when we can really fuel our bodies with real food, it helps our bodies to naturally stabilize and heal themselves. Real food is the best medicine. So, fake food and the obesity epidemic, we live in a culture today where food addiction is rampant. And it's no wonder, like, our food system has been hijacked by processed, sugar laden, flour filled products that trigger a chemical response in our brains. These foods light up the same reward centers in the brain that other addictive substances do. And this means that over time, our brains become wired to crave more of these foods, leading us to overeat and block our ability to lose weight. So it's not your fault that you're stuck in this cycle. Food manufacturers, they know exactly what they're doing and they create products designed to get you hooked. This food culture, combined with our sedentary lifestyles, is why we're facing an obesity epidemic. You know, in the past, in the times of my ancestors, they struggled with famine, right? But today we struggle because we have such abundance. We have so many modern conveniences and don't have to move our bodies. We have too much food around. So that's what's causing the health issues that we're seeing right now in our society. More than 70% of adults in the US are classified as obese or overweight. And with that comes a host of other health issues: high blood pressure, insulin resistance, hormone imbalances, and other issues. So when you switch to eating real food, the science behind real food, unprocessed, without sugar and flour, is that we stabilize our blood sugars and we're able to better regulate our hormones. And that's why it's such a cornerstone of this program, the Healthy Real Food program that I teach. Healthy, whole, real food, it doesn't spike your blood sugar the way that processed foods do. So instead, it provides like a steady source of energy that keeps you full, satisfied, and free from the constant cycle of hunger and cravings. Our bodies are so amazing. And they know how to heal themselves when we give it the right fuel. So, by removing fake food and focusing on real, whole ingredients, you're giving your body, your brain, the opportunity to heal naturally, to balance itself, to lower inflammation, and to release excess weight naturally. So, one of the reasons that so many people struggle with weight loss is because we have human brains that are designed to seek food that is pleasurable, right? To seek and now in our food culture that food is abundant. A lot of us are. We can food addiction is very real. Sugar and flour especially act like drugs in the brain. They trigger dopamine release, which makes us feel good temporarily, but it also makes us want more and more and more. And the more we eat them, the more our brain craves them. But, even eating real food, we can overdo it on that. Like if you eat too much real food, you can still get that dopamine hit, like when you eat massive quantities of it, right? So food addiction is not just being addicted to sugar and flour, but it also can be being addicted to quantities and using food like a drug in a unhealthy way. And so that's what we're trying to break free from. Eating real food, though, the way that God made it is the first step. It's the first step. Eating real food the way that God created it for our human bodies, it helps us to reset this addictive cycle. So when you stop eating these processed, hyper palatable foods, your brain starts to return to its natural state. You no longer experience the intense cravings and the hunger that come with a diet that's filled with sugar and flour. It's like flipping a switch. So suddenly your body and your mind are working with you, not against you on your journey to lose weight. So eating real food is more than just about losing weight. It's about freedom. Freedom from food addiction, freedom from the constant obsession with dieting, and freedom from health issues that plague so many of us today. So when you eat the way that God designed, when we eat the way that God has designed for our human bodies, your body finds balance and we become in tune with our hunger signals and our energy levels increase and our cravings diminish. So my clients often tell me like how liberating it feels to eat real food and not have to worry about counting calories. When you eat whole real food, it's nutrient dense with a low caloric density and it's a lot of food. So you can eat until you're satisfied and still lose weight because you're eating foods that naturally support your health. So if you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed or frustrated with your journey, I just want to invite you to keep it real, like focus on eating real food and also keep it real and share your struggles, share your journey, be patient with yourself in this process. It's not about getting it perfect, it's about making progress and learning from every step and showing up for yourself day after day. While we strive for 100%, we celebrate, we strive for the A plus, we celebrate the B minus. And so just keep focusing on showing up and making progress. I am right here on this journey with you. And while I wish that I never struggled with food addiction, at times I struggle too. And I just wanted to share that this week because sometimes with the sugar and flour free lifestyle, we can fall into the trap of perfectionism. And we just have to remember that it's not about being perfect, it's just about continually progressing and showing up. Just as important as the food that we eat, we also have to focus on mastering our mindset, mastering the art of constant course correction, and just being kind to ourselves. You keep moving forward. So remember, your body was designed to thrive on real food. And when you fuel it with what it needs, you're going to find that your energy, your health, and your weight is naturally going to come into alignment. But it is a journey, it's a process, and there are no quick fixes. So just be patient with yourself, ditch your timeline, and surround yourself with support. If you're ready to dive deeper into this lifestyle and you want to customize a meal plan so that you can lose weight for the last time without calorie counting, medications, or fads, I'm offering a free one-to-one coaching call to help you to get started. So click the link in my bio or go to healthyrealfood.com to get a link to my schedule. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. And remember, keeping it real sets you free. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye, everybody.